Cool, man. Well, yeah, welcome to Wall of Sound. I'm Adam. Cool, let's get into it. So, your new album, Lonely God's out on August 1st. For this one, you've stepped away from Drew Falk as a producer. I mean, you were with him for 3 albums, which seems like a bit of a safe bet. You moved on to Daniel Braunstein, who's
Yeah.
worked with acts such as like Spirit Box, who have gone on to do like incredible things. Why the change and what drew you to him?
I mean, part of the change was Drew's availability. So
Mm,
that helped because it was like he was available. It was just later on and we didn't want the record to be pushed back that much. And it's a delicate balance of touring schedule and recording, all that.
mm,
Bronstein had always been somebody that was on our radar just because how can you ignore him when he's doing Spirit Box and Dayseeker and all that?
absolutely.
So and Trey, our drummer, had experience with Bronstein in the past and was like, guys, I promise, like, you would love working with him. So then we met Bronstein, ironically, in Europe, in Paris. He was like on a late honeymoon,
Oh,
and he's
wow.
like, let me come meet you guys. And he was just so chill. And we were like, all right, let's book the studio
Yeah,
session with
mate.
him. And it was just at the same time too, like we've done three in a row with Drew. Like it felt like it might be nice to change things up. It's been now 7 years on Drew records. Like let's just see what happens. And I think it was awesome. I think it turned out amazing.
So yeah, 7 years with the same producers is like a long time. Must have almost felt
Yeah.
like a bit of a breakup going with someone else, right?
Yeah, it does. But it felt good because it was still in LA where Drew's from, and we had Drew come in one day to hang out and
Oh,
like do
sick.
some bike riding with us. And they're all like Dan and Drew and stuff are all friends. So it felt like not like a crazy big departure from what
Yeah,
we were doing.
nice. Yeah, cool. I've actually listened to the album a few times, and one like the big things that really caught me off guard were like the softer songs Between Us and Shelter, which is like a massive change of pace and direction. I remember like the first time listening to Between Us, and I'm thinking like, is this still fit for a king, or is there something going
Yeah.
wrong? Yeah,
Especially because it's in between those heavy songs.
yeah, exactly. I mean, what drew that kind of massive change there?
We had songs like between us in the band's history, but I'd say the last time we did one like that was in 2013.
Mm,
So it's like way back in the way beyond, like before most people have even listened to our band. Um, and it's just something we've always wanted to do again, but it was also something anytime we tried to write a soft song, it felt forced and not that good. And this song just organically happened. Bobby, our guitarist, had wrote the chorus for it like years ago. And we all loved the chorus. We just didn't know where to put it. And we
mm.
finally were like, what if we just did a ballad? And it just organically happened in a day. Whereas
Well,
in the past, when we tried to recreate our ballad from 2013, that was popular. It just always felt like it was us trying to beat that song, and it never did. And this
mm.
one didn't feel like it was trying to beat it; it was just trying to be its own thing. And I think it turned out cool because it just was an organic, not forced thing.
Yeah, wow. It's very emotional. I think like the album as a whole has a lot of emotion behind it. How do you how do you like maintain the balance between vulnerability and privacy when flirting on that line of being really emotional on a record?
I think it's I think it's just like try obviously experience helps. It's our eighth album. So doing it a lot and a lot of trial and error, seeing what fans like or don't like, or us just listening to our past music and reflecting on what we would have done differently, I think helps a lot with stuff like that. So I think just a lot of self-reflection and a lot of like accepting constructive criticism of past music.
Hmm, for sure. Like as you said, this is your eighth studio album. Which of these bodies of work kind of represent who you are individually and who the band is like the best?
I'd say Lonely God, just because
Really?
having every member on it is, I think, a large reason. Because the past records, the dynamic was kind of like me, Bob, and the producer would do a lot of stuff, and then Tuck would like have his input, and then that was it. And
Mm,
that's not like a full band effort. Where this one was like everybody's doing everything. Like I would have ideas for a production, while Trey would have a singing idea, while Tuck would have a screaming part that he had wrote. And
Wow.
it genuinely was like all hands on deck for every aspect of the song, not just like you play drums, only write drums
Hmm.
type stuff. It
That's
was like
cool.
everybody was helping with every aspect of the song.
Yeah, wow. This was Trey's first album to like studio time with Fifth King, is that correct?
So he technically was in the band for The Hell We Create, but he didn't really include himself a lot. A lot of it was him just being like not wanting to overstep because he had just kind of joined the band. So he was just
Sure.
kind of in the background. And this was the first time he like really jumped in and like really put in a big effort into like putting his stamp on it.
Yeah, so he's like really kind of found his feet in the band by this point.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're 14 or 15 years into your journey as being a father.
Yeah.
Um, how has the role of being a father kind of played a part in the way you write music? Like, I'd imagine your younger self would have been like, I'm writing a metal album. I can't put this in. It's too sissy. You know what I mean? Whereas now you're coming up with ballads like Between Us, which are very vulnerable. Has that kind of role as a father played a part in this aspect?
I think it has because the last record I did before adopting our kids was Dark Skies.
Mm,
So we adopted them. We started fostering them in 2019, adopted in 2020.
mm,
So it's been about 6 years now, and I think you can see a big difference because we had already written the path. It was finished before we started fostering. So
mm.
the Hell We Create was the first like post fatherhood album,
Yeah.
and you can just I think feel how much more personal it is, and see how it only expands on Lonely God. And I think a lot of that is like when you foster children and you adopt children, there's a lot of therapy involved. There's a lot of hurt involved, a lot of just like trauma. And I think for some, like I had a great upbringing. I didn't have any of that, fortunately. And I thank my parents for that. My wife was not as fortunate. She didn't have a great upbringing, but it's so hard to like understand people
Mm,
whenever they're just explaining their rough childhood. But adopting kids, like it was extremely hard. There was a lot of traumatic events that happened within the adoption on top of the things they went through before the adoption.
mm.
And it really opened my eyes to like not just like the therapy stuff, because there was a lot of group therapy. There was like me sitting in on their therapy sessions. There was like all this stuff. And I think it just helped me be a lot more in touch with myself, and like you just learn all this stuff, like stuff that maybe is working for them.
Mm.
It's like, oh, maybe I could apply that to me, or I maybe that's part of what I'm going through, or maybe. So I think it helped with the album in a sense of like me being more self-aware of my own emotions, and not just that, but knowing how to like verbalize things that I'm going through or the kids are going through or whoever.
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. So like through guiding your kids to grow, you've kind of a byproduct of that has been personal growth in your own journey, right?
Yeah, and I think as a when you become a dad, you like almost you should step up and become a more mature
Sure.
person. Not everybody does, but I think ideally you do step up because you need to be a good role model for your
Mm,
children.
for sure. Speaking of role models, I think it's a bit of a crazy period of time in like in US politics as well as like global politics. I feel like some of the themes of that have bled through on this album. Is this record kind of like a direct reflection of that?
There's definitely a political meaning towards some of the songs. I mean, the album was recorded during the presidential election, so it's all anybody was talking about, like almost the whole time we were in the studio.
Mm,
So I think it was almost inevitable that politics made its way in, and I'm very cynical about politics. I think it's so far gone in America, like
mm,
beyond repair, that there is a lot of like hopelessness within the music and a lot of anger, because I used to pick a side, I used to care more, but I just feel so hopeless for the whole situation that now
mm.
it's just frustration with everything and the way the whole thing works in a way.
Yeah, cool. I think using your music as a cathartic experience for that? Like, has that been helpful to kind of relieve that loneliness or that kind of negativity towards it?
I think definitely. I think music is like one of the most therapeutic things out there, whether you're making it or listening to it. I think, I mean, music's how I got through school. Like, it was the thing that made me a ton of friends whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
And I think it just carries into adulthood now that I get to write too. It's an honor to be able to like write music and people listen to it and have opinions on it and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of like making friends in music, like Lockie Keogh from Alpha Wolf, he's become like a bit of a superstar down here in Australia.
Yeah.
Those boys in Alpha Wolf, they brought you over on Metalcore Snitches tour a few years back, and that was like a massive tour. But now you've invited him onto your album. Like, what's your
Yeah.
relationship with him, and what made you kind of invite him on to be a part of Lonely God?
We've just, every guest vocalist on the record we've been friends with for a while. It just felt like, because it was such a collaborative album, it felt right to bring on friends to also be a part of the record, whether it was Chris, whether it is a Landon or Lockie, which we've toured with them in the US twice. Well, kind of twice. One of the times got canceled because of COVID, but we'll just say twice.
Yeah.
Toured with them in Australia, obviously. We toured with them in Europe. Like, we spent so much time with him, and I've always loved his energy, and I've loved Alpha Wolf as a band, and it just felt like a no-brainer to have him on the album.
Yeah, sick. I think I want to talk a bit about the music videos. I mean, Begin the Sacrifice is like very dark, and
Mhm.
No Tomorrow. I mean, I got a bit emotional watching the No Tomorrow
Yeah.
music video. I think it's a very emotional little clip. I think there's a bit more detail in your music videos now than like ever before. Are you starting to put a bit more energy into that part of your art?
Definitely. I normally was pretty hands off with music videos in the past and was just kind of like, yeah, whatever looks cool. Like, I hate music videos, they're annoying to make. And so this record, I just was like, I think I would enjoy them more if I got like more hands on with the story. So this time has been a lot of collaborating with the directors and giving storylines and really trying to like, I'm not the director of the video, but I did a lot of the like storytelling and stuff. And then obviously working with the director and the producers, because they know more about like taking my vision and being able to fit it into a budget and what's
Mm,
feasible, because obviously we don't have Hollywood money over here, so there's certain things we have to do to fit within the budget.
sure,
But
yeah, cool.
I think
I'm
it's definitely made me enjoy it more, like knowing it's a part of like a story versus just a cool thing to watch that music plays during it and you're fake playing your songs.
Yeah, amazing. I'm running out of time, so I'll finish on this one. But you guys are making your way down here in January of next year. I mean, this tour with the Plot New, it's a massive lineup with Boundaries and Banks Arcade as well. It's looking as if it's going to be like the tour of 2026, and it's in January. Like,
Yeah.
it's massive. But what can we expect from you guys down there? Can we expect a Landon guest vocalist appearance on Technium? What else can we expect on that tour?
I don't want to speak for Landon because I haven't spoken to him about it yet, but I feel like he will.
Okay,
I don't want
cool.
to but I don't want to promise. I'm definitely going to ask. I'm going to try to make it happen. But
Yeah, cool.
yeah, that's all I can say about it.
No,
But
perfect, man.
a lot of new
Amazing.
songs, and we'll do some throwbacks for
Yeah,
the.
unreal. No, I can't wait for you to come down. It's gonna be unreal. Ryan, thanks heaps for taking the time to chat. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.